Jumbo Mambo, Familia Angu, habari gani. Mimi ni Eli-Ben-Eli, Mimi ni Babu Eli-Ben-Eli. I just wanted to make a quick video. I seen a couple of videos about Marwa and the creatures at the Villa Medellin, El Rancho Mediterráneo. And I consider this video sort of like a point of information. I look at those animals. The black one is actually a horse. The gray ones are mules. They're half horses, half jackass. Uh, I may be wrong, but I've been around horses since I was a child. I almost got killed on 2 occasions by horses. I realized how dangerous horses can be around people that don't know what they're doing with them. When I was very young, I was riding a horse. We were coming back from what you might call a shamba in the Dominican Republic, and there was no road into the farm that we went to, so we were walking alongside of a railroad track. Me and my sister were riding the horses, or riding the horse. We have one horse. The horse became spooked, and it reared up, and it threw both of us. My head hit the railroad rail, and it was by the grace of God that I didn't split my head open and end up dead. That was incident number one. Incident number two. Uh, when I was very, very little, we were in our yard at my home. And when I was little in the Dominican Republic, horse carriages were common. A horse ran wild and came running through our yard. And my older brother, may God bless him, at the time I was practically a toddler. My older brother, I remember the incident, but I was very young. My older brother grabbed me by the shoulder and jumped out of the way, and the horse ran right over the table where we had been sitting, and it just kept going. I would have ended up dead. Okay, horses are wonderful, beautiful, sensitive creatures. They are also very, very, very strong, and they are killers. Okay, they are killers. Uh, what's the name that I'm trying to remember? Destrier. There was a time when in Europe and really around the world, cultures that have ridden horses, obviously they have been ridden into war. And the horses, destriers, were trained to engage in combat. But nobody really has to train them to engage in combat. What they do is this: if you are behind them and they can get you in the correct position, they can literally crack your skull open by giving you a good back kick with one of their back legs. If you are in front of them and a horse feels like is angry and feels like fighting, it can rear up on its hind legs and hit you with its front paws and then stomp you into the ground. It's like, unless you know what you're doing. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, after I came here to Texas, I lived in the Texas Panhandle, cowboy country, and there's the second largest canyon in the United States is called Paladuro Canyon. I used to go there frequently to just basically rent a horse and ride it, and I loved it. It was a wonderful experience. But I have always, always had a healthy respect for horses. I have always had a healthy respect for horses. I look at what Marwa is doing, and horses have very sensitive health. Their hooves are very sensitive. Their hooves. There are tons of videos of horses with infected hooves. Their hooves can get pussy and everything. They have to be treated. They have to be well maintained. They like eating vegetables. They like carrots. They like apples. They like fruits. The what people ranchers feed horses to keep them from getting skinny is they feed them. First of all, you have to have a salt lick for them to lick salt, and then you feed them something like oats. You can also, A.M. Carroll. Let me tell you, as strange as it might seem, a horse is capable of eating chicken feed. They're capable of eating corn, oats, barley, a bunch of different things. But they're basically grain. They're very big animals and they need energy. So they need a lot of carbohydrate. They need a lot of water. I don't know who told Marwa to allow those horses to run around free range. That is insane. If those horses do not become acclimated to the people around them, okay, if they're allowed to just run wild, they become very dangerous. Even horses that have frequent contact with people, can be very dangerous. Please look at the King's Guard in London at Buckingham Palace. There are a ton of videos of the house cavalry and how those horses behave. Very sensitive creatures. If you have a parade that goes past them, and there's a lot of noise, they are capable of going wild. Okay, The other thing is this: don't mistake a horse behaving itself for the horse always being gentle. Horses are capable of biting you. If you are not careful about putting your fingers near their mouth, they can literally break your finger with their teeth. Okay, these are not animals to be, taken for granted. They're basically very, very powerful animals. And then let me tell you one thing. I don't know if any of those animals. I don't know if the black horse is a stallion, but when the time comes that one of those horses, a stallion, wants to breed, you're dealing with a devil on four hoofs. They can be very, very, very difficult animals to deal with. You know, of all the strange things that Marwa has done, fooling around with horses is, unless you've been around horses your whole life, unless you really are into horses, you don't want to just fool around with them, and you want to know what you're doing. Most of all, you don't want to let them run wild and just graze, because that means that they're not going to be in contact with people. If they're not in contact with people, they're just like human beings. If a human being doesn't live in contact with other human beings, what do you think is going to happen when they're around human beings? And plus, even if it's an open-sided shelter, they have to have some kind of shelter. You don't want to just leave a horse to run out in the rain. Especially a domestic horse. But anyway, and as far as their coats are concerned, yes, they get ticks and they get all kinds of other things. They have to be brushed on a daily basis. If you ride them and you don't have shoes on them, I promise you, you will ruin their hooves. Their hooves will become infected. They'll begin to limp. They could even die. It's like, I don't know why Mara, well, it's none of my business. I don't even know why I'm commenting, but I happen to love horses, but almost more important than me loving them, I respect them. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Please help my channel to keep growing. You know what? I'm doing this for fun, but I also believe in you people out there. And I know that there are people out there who think that, well, I believe in you people, so help a brother out. In the meantime, I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful evening. Kwaheri.